worked hard on this, but you can't appreciate the work that went into it, great. And then turn around and then people do something that, like, personally I don't understand, but I'm not bashing you because I don't understand it. And I should probably stop this. I feel like I just need to get really mad about something. And granted, I've been told, and it really fucking hurts when people say this, like, I kind of had a rough, like, month or two after I heard this comment, just because I was reevaluating my life, which was a coworker of mine who had mentioned at one point, he was like, oh yeah, you're in school, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in school. He was like, oh, like, are you getting your degree in something? I'm like, yeah, I'm like a studio art major. And he just kind of looked at me and like, ha, 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 and laughed. And I was like, what's so funny? He's like, oh, well, I was just thinking, like, oh, you know, in another, like, 10 or 15 years down the road, I'll be retired and, like, at a restaurant or something that you'll end up being my server. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're not gonna really do much with an art degree. And I was like, oh, like, thanks. But, like, hearing comments like that really hurt self-esteem-wise. Yeah, I feel like I haven't contradicted myself enough, but I guess that's okay. But it's always going to be a struggle. And I feel like that's especially true in the art world. So, I mean, it's the burden we bear. Hell, we bear it well. So, because of that, like, we need to stop criticizing each other so much. And granted, I get it, it's for a greater thing. It's like to make each other better. But sometimes it's fucking harsh. And it's like, God, do you really not like what I'm doing that much? Or would you rather put your own aesthetic into my piece? Because if you want to put your own aesthetic into my piece, like, fucking take my idea and then I'll do something else. Like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to deal with it. But thank you all for listening to my rants. Muchy Cat will say goodbye to you too. And I guess we will see you again in the future, maybe. I don't know.
You said you made a bunch of masks when you were sitting around not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Like what kind of masks? Like, what do those masks do for you? I guess.
When I was little, like, I specifically remember this when I was like 7. Like, I remember like lots and lots of days like stepping out of the in our bathroom back where I lived. Like being like upset with like bodies and my body, because it was like this area and this, it just didn't make sense to me. And it was like I liked the curve of like the arm and the elbow and like the chest, and then it was like just like bleh and bleh, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't want that to look like, I don't want to look like that. And so I've always been interested in masks for that reason, of it being like it's like a cleaner facade. It fits more back with my very young idea of wanting to not look like gummy and curvy and like weird like that. And I guess that's why, I mean, that's not why, but it's like part of the reason why, like, ever since I was little, it's like robots are cool, bugs are cool, because they're like, it's this clean, like, interesting, straight, geometric, like thing that they're entirely made of, like the whole up and down. Teeth and jaws are like my favorite part of the human body. Like, but I guess it's just like the implication of what they do. Like, they help you articulate ideas and things that are so deep inside of you and communicate with others in this very sophisticated way. At the same time, they like rip and tear at stuff and break it down and shred it. I'm saying the 90s are back, baby. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
I'm ready. Bring it.
Yeah, I don't talk to strangers too much myself, but when I do, I'm, like, really glad I do.
Yeah.
I have, like, really bad anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and that keeps me from, like, talking to people. When it comes to people, I'm just, like, there's a lot of unknowns, because, like, you can't know what someone else is thinking. You can't know, like, what's going on around you unless you both are just really blunt with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been a cause of anxiety for me. Let me see what time it is. All this stuff in my pocket. 2:46. Do you need to be anywhere?
Nope.
Okay, I think I do.
Can I ask you one more quick question before you go? Okay. Is there a story about your bracelet?
Okay, so this one, my mother was in Arizona, and she was down there for like a spiritual kind of thing, and she went to this shop with a bunch of rocks, and she was at the counter, and she was looking at these bracelets, and she found some for herself, and she wanted to get one for me, but she didn't know which one to pick out for me. And so if, like, this is the counter, she was on this side looking at these bracelets, and there was more over here. And while she was looking, apparently this one just, like, hopped off and onto the counter in front of her while she was looking one for me. And the lady behind the counter was like, whoa, that never happens. So she was like, yeah, this is for Penelope.
Nice.
So it chose me. And it's my favorite color.
Anyways, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
So you can go.
Is there anything else?
Nope, I don't have anything else.
Okay, cool.
Well, currently I am in the process of moving. I'm putting all my stuff in storage because I haven't found a place to live yet. Unfortunately, I have people in my life that like to take when somebody is already struggling, but as long as they're okay, you know, it doesn't matter about anybody else. My heart's been ripped out and stomped on and shredded to pieces. And nothing has gone right for the past 15 months at all. And I flipped my car at 117 miles an hour 6 times. And my husband left me. Drained my bank account, took all my stuff, shut everything off. And then I came down with staph infection and cellulitis, and I was bedridden for 2 months. And then I got faced with an eviction. I mentally broke, and I had to go on mental health leave. And, well, now in November, my apartment flooded on December 28th. I got a text when I was in class and got broken up with and came home to him moving out while I was at class. I spent New Year's Eve alone, And so now I have no income, no place to live. And I have to send my son to my mom's. And you just keep going, I guess. And I don't know, you just keep going. And people are always there to take, but when you need something, they're not there. Life sucks is the moral of the story.
Ah, stupid tickle. Yeah, damn it. You're gonna animate that?
I might.
So, I was born and raised in Guam. God damn it. Yeah, Guam's a dope place, man. It's so in Guam they have these things called tatamona, and it means people of before, but like the contemporary belief is that they're like ghosts or spirits. And, so like growing up around that, and then like coming here, I feel like I don't believe in ghosts whenever I'm in Washington, but the minute I go back home, like my mom would be like, Tatamono in the back is like doing this or whatever. And so when you walk in the jungle in Guam, you have to you say a prayer and ask your ancestors' permission to step in their place. But in Washington, I can walk out into the woods and feel like nothing. And like what I want to do and what I wish I could be is like consistent throughout, without any like even recognition of where I'm at. Like I should just be allowed to be like Guala Zangualo and like pray to my ancestor that like, hey, can I go use the go to the arboretum and take a dump?
Yeah.
I have like a Tatamona story, like a pretty like intense one. All right, this is dope. Okay, so I was 9, and my family was living in with my grandma in this village called Manila, and it's my mom's childhood home. So I was one night I was laying in bed in my mom's childhood room. I turned the TV off. I was like trying to sleep, and I look out the window and just chilling, leaning back, kind of staring out the window, and this is still vivid in my head, but I see like green flashes. Oh, and the curtain's down, and I see green flashes. I'm like, oh, weird, green lightning. So I like get up, grab the curtain, like throw it open, and I swear to God, this like giant like man with green veins is standing there, like just staring right at me. No face, just green veins, and his veins are flashing. And I remember like sitting there looking at it, and I knock on the glass, and then I say my cousin's name that used to live in a house like in the jungle behind our house. And I said, Yvonne, you're kind of freaking me out. And just staring at it. And then I was like, Dad, is that you, Dad? And I was like, what is going on? Like, I swear, it seemed like I was there for like 5 minutes or something, because it's just like trying to think like, what the hell is this? And then I look at it, and then like it just like clicks, and like, oh shit, I don't know what this is. Like I run out, and I tell my parents, and but yeah, this year I drove down to Everett and talked to my cousin. I was like, hey, do you remember Grandma's house? Like how scary it was. Like I saw Tatamoni. He's like, he heard my story, and he's like, dude, Clint, our other cousin Sean told me that same story when he was at, stayed at Grandma's house for a little bit. And I was like, dude, don't fucking lie to me. You're like, my hair was standing up. So, and then when I come here, I'm like, no such thing as ghosts. I give you permission to make fun of me because I'm a fucking goofy ass.
So I'm not Japanese, so that's automatically makes me an outsider. I remember, I don't know why I was out in the middle of nowhere. I'm always out in the middle of nowhere. And school had just gotten out. And there was this one road that all these little kids were walking down. And I was walking behind these two, obviously a brother and a sister, and I think the little kid was like maybe 4 or 5, something like that. So they're coming back from preschool. And he's like, the sister turns around. Her name was Aya, I remember, because she referred to herself in the third person, which little kids often do. And so she's like, Aya-chan wa. So she would like talk about herself to me. And her brother was like, who are you talking to? Turned around and went like, Gaijin da! Right? Like, just freaked out. And immediately I looked at him and I went, Doko! And he looked at me like, huh? And then he laughed and then we started to talk, right? And that's an interaction you could never have with an adult who might be thinking the same thing in their minds, but because they don't have that unrestricted, totally not self-conscious way about them. Kids are great.
Yeah. That was good of you to just have that one ready.
Well, so I guess that's a testament to how often these things happen, right? Is that you have like a little toolbox of ready responses that you can pull out.
How do you find the energy to like keep being like humorous about situations like that?
Do I? That's a great question. I think you just have to, right? It's too hard otherwise. I think everybody gets into a situation where they just get tired and then you get withdrawn and introverted, and that can be really hard. But it's a survival strategy to just sort of be genki. Things go much better when you're genki, right? I don't know how we draw the energy to do that. I suppose you find inspiration in other people who are doing it too, right? And that's true in every way, right? If I go down to the cafe, right down the hallway, and I walk in there and I'm all stressed out because, I have to write student letters of recommendation, and I have to write my article, and I have to plan for class, and I have a backup on grading, and everything feels crazy, and then I can walk down there and be really cranky and stressed out and be like, why isn't this coffee out? Or, why is this not working? Or just like not talk to anybody and be like, just throw my money at something and walk away. I'm going to walk out of that experience feeling just as bad as when I went down there. And I also ruined somebody else's day too, right? But I think often I just tap into ridiculousness instead. So I can go down there and as I'm paying, just make weird noises like You know, if I swipe my card, I do this all the time. Like, you swipe your card, you go, "Vroom," and then the person laughs on the other side because it's weird. And then they'll make a sound too, because now I've set a precedent for making sounds. And I think people, by and large, are super weird. Like, everybody's a little bit weird, and or a lot, and everybody's trying, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to bottom that up in some way. So I think at any moment you can tap into somebody's bizarreness.
Yeah.
It's better for everyone. Yeah. I actually think being tired helps a lot. Because when we're tired, it's sort of like we stop caring about a lot of stuff. Like, whatever. We're just going to do this. I'm tired. We'll see how it goes. Like, I'm too tired to be anxious.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was more well rested, it would be less bizarre. Yeah.
But yeah, it was...
Hopefully you have something that's not too embarrassing that you can
Is that something I should think about?
Embarrassing me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, I'll think about it a little bit.
Just be nice to me.
I will. I will.